morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Belinda. I'm with Just Be Yoga, and this is our home yoga practice live today. Go ahead and get yourself set up. Hopefully you've got a journal. You've got maybe a block, something like this, or it could be a book, or also a rolled up blanket. You could always take a blanket and have it as support that you stack and fold in ways that give you more height, okay? So, and maybe a strap. I'm trying something out new here today, so if you've been here with us for a while, do know that, I'm always trying to find a way that's teaching something that's effective for us. And today we are going to start off with the week knowing what the plan is. And today our plan is for the week we're going to practice what's called tapas, or discipline. And we're going to stick with the same sequence, the same thing every day, and feel what's going on physically, what's going on mentally, and what's going on breath-wise and spiritually, and all of that. As I had posted, I don't know if you saw what I posted earlier today, I know that I have to confront my desire to have variety all the time, right? I gotta change something up, and that's really interesting because I consider myself a rather disciplined person, but it's just me putting my little edge on it. And if I'm really honest, that's me not being contented and disciplined enough to do the same thing. Maybe this came up for me because of the Tai Chi sequence that I'm teaching, and Tai Chi is the form is doing the same thing every single time. And that, I think, I'm starting to really look at that in this space. Hey, Claudia. Hey, Kim. Speaking of Tai Chi, I've got one of our Tai Chi folks in the room with us. So, if you're trying to develop a practice at home, what better way to keep it simple, keep yourself coming back. You don't have to be like, and what's next? What's the next complicated thing? Because it doesn't have to be complicated. And in doing the same thing over and over, not only do we build some resilience and maybe some strength or some new spaciousness or lengthening or stretch in certain body parts, but we start to train the mind and start to notice when the mind is getting agitated, that's mine, that is like, oh, I want to do something different. And that's a discontentedness that's actually a little bit of ego cropping up for me, going, I could be doing something a little harder, or I need, right? I often like to front and say, I need something a little harder. Well, actually, I might actually be needing to slow down, and it's my ego pushing me to go, ooh, let's do some crazy arm balances or something like that. Alrighty? So creating the space at home can be as simple or as difficult as you like. But oftentimes, if we're not really rolling out our mat at home, we should probably keep it simple. So this week, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a Brahmahri Bumblebee Pranayama. Feel free to write this down, like if you want to know, okay, what is the practice I'm going to do this week? If you're following along with us, you can always modify, right? And say, well, I tried to stick with it, and I did it for 1 day or 2 days. Or you do it for 4 days or 5 days or 6 days, and then look back and go, what changed? What grew? But so we'll talk about what the Brahmahri Bumblebee Pranayama or breath exercise is. I also really want to start doing a better job of teaching the seventh limb in yoga, and that's dhyana, and that's meditation. So we're going to start with a shamatha, or a calm abiding meditation, and we'll close with a calm abiding meditation. Maybe get a candle if you would like for that. My lama, actually, this is something from my Tibetan practice, but I've done it with a single grain of rice. So something really small. You can make a macaroni curl if you want, but something simple. It doesn't have to be uniform, right? So you can have a pebble that's got all kinds of weird shapes, or a crystal, but you can have a single thing, maybe, to train your mind to focus on that one thing. And then we're going to be doing the same poses today, okay? So we're going to do maybe 2 sun salutations, more of a hatha sun salutation, and I'll show us that. We'll do a triangle, eagle, then a wide-legged standing forward fold, or Prasarita Padottanasana, or triangle being Trikonasana, or eagle being Garudasana. And then we're going to do half hero. And that's where a blanket or a pillow might really come in handy today, maybe two. And that's going to be a reclining pose. We will also do a reclining spinal twist. And then I had put in some of the notes on the that having an open wall today or a chair that isn't on casters or wheels is going to be useful for a shoulder stand for us to close practice today. All right, so those are going to be the postures that we do, and we're going to get started. So come on in if you're new and say hello. I'm a big fan of folks typing out into the comment field what's going on for them and letting me know that you're here. I'm going to keep my eyeglasses on for the little bit of reading that we're going to do to start with the Bremari practice. The Shinay, or the meditation first. So maybe get your candle. If you're just coming along, please don't fret about making your yoga space have to be anything perfect. I just finished teaching a private, and I love the creativity of the wonderful friend of mine who's doing this practice with me in a private, but they're finding like just a narrow space in a hallway. I've seen folks move a little bit of furniture and just have their sofa. So please don't fret about making anything perfect. As long as maybe you can have your arms out wide, your legs out wide, you can always navigate your way around and rearrange yourself for that space. So we take away the barrier to our practice. All right, I'm Belinda, Just Be Yoga. This is our home yoga practice live starting in the week of, we're starting off January 26th, going all the way to the 29th, Tuesday through Friday. All right, so let's make a way of sitting that's comfortable for us. Sometimes it's more comfortable to sit on a block, and I'm actually going to start my practice on a block today. And I don't usually do this, but I'm going to actually read from one of my prayer tablets for this Shinay meditation, or this calm abiding meditation. And the reason why I'm going to start our practice with the meditation and close it is that oftentimes the mind is way too agitated in the beginning of practice. And when we get to bookend it and create that space, we get to notice, what's changed about my mind? How more receptive is my mind to this stillness? But we need to see how agitated it is first before we can notice how much more calm it is. And everything takes a practice. Just like we practice chair pose, we get to practice meditation. All right, so maybe have your candle out in front of you. I'm going to put an imaginary, maybe I can turn it on. Ha, I can. If you are going to use an object, try not to have your head have to be bent down very much, okay? Let your spine be nice and relaxed, okay? So not military attention. And if you wish, maybe just sit up against the wall with your back resting on the wall. That takes a lot of the work out of this. We want to be able to create as little distraction in the body so that the mind can also be less distracted. The more distracted the body is, the more distracted the mind. Let's have a few cleansing breaths, whatever that means for you. And maybe recite to yourself why you are embarking on your yoga practice today. What brought you here? Why are you here? And embrace that for yourself. It's a deeply personal journey for all of us. Eyelids can be open or closed. Just no strain in the eyelids. Maybe relax your jaw or stretch it on purpose. A little bit of neck, just checking in on any agitations in the body. Palms resting wherever you would like. To encourage the jaw to remain relaxed, I talk about this in Tai Chi, try to let the tip of the tongue rest onto the roof of the mouth and let the jaw kind of relax there. Don't clench. We will begin our calm, abiding focus. So let your eyes rest either on your candle or your object, or just on your breath. Concentrate on the breath going out and pervading everywhere in the room. Rest your mind in that state without distraction. When your thoughts arise, again, concentrate on your breath going out, pervading everywhere in the room, outside of the building, across the earth. When you have many thoughts arising, concentrate on the breath going out, resting between the exhalation and the inhalation coming in, and resting between the inhalation and the exhalation going out. The point is to rest your mind one-pointedly, without distraction, on the present moment of awareness and clarity. And hear yourself say to yourself, do not follow the past. The past is finished, so do not think about it. Do not anticipate the future. Do not think, I will do this or I will do that. Rest without distraction in the present moment of awareness. Slowly emerge from this meditative space. You could stay sitting on any cushion that you're sitting on. I'm coming off. I'm getting ready for our breath practice or pranayama, the Bremari or Bumblebee Pranayama. I'm going to take my thumbs, you might want to listen first, and lightly cover that triangular flap of cartilage at your ear over your ear hole, but you might want to hear first. And then we're going to lightly let the fingertips just very lightly press against the eyes. And we're going to breathe in and breathe out a hum sound. And at the end of that hum, breathe in again and Let us do 5 to 7 Brahmahri exhales with the hum. Observe your breath, observe your mind. Maybe repeat to yourself why you came to your mat. Feel your physical body. And we'll make our way to hands and knees. Now, another reason a blanket nearby might be helpful is that you could put it down under the knees in case your knees are sensitive to the pressure. Let's tuck the toes and lift the hips up for down dog. Your knees could remain bent here if you like, letting your head fall down. If your arms get tired or anything gets tired, bring the knees down. Ease and steadiness. Some of us like to pedal the heels up and down, stretching out and feeling the muscles in the backs of our legs. Noticing what's tense and tight and what's actually craving this movement. Good. We're going to do a few sun salutations, some hatha sun salutations. I'm going to bring my left knee down, step the right foot up, or help it up there. Feel yourself come in contact with the earth. Try to move with kindness in everything you do. Lifting the chest up, feeling the stretch through the groin, the hip, the belly, the chest. Hands down. Step the left foot up. And roll the spine up. Breathe in and lengthen the chest up, maybe lifting the arms, eyes open. Exhale, coming forward. See if you can let your neck and your throat stay open. We're going to step the right foot back, coming down to the knee and lifting. So this is called a sun salutation. Bringing in some reverence to the sun rising each day. And we're starting our practice in a gratitude. Step that left foot back, finding a hands and knees plank, lowering down. So now we're lowering our body to the earth, submitting ourselves, prostrating ourselves. Breathe in and offer your heart that's beating on this day up to the sun. And then exhale, down dog. Letting your head hang toward the earth, kind of bowing down beneath the sun. Bowing into the earth in honor. Right knee down, stepping the left foot up. So now we'll start to just make our way through a few times. Find a pace that's worked for you. Ease and steadiness. So don't go to a pace that makes you go off balanced or rocky. All right? Can you be kind to your spine as you're rolling up? And you're getting to explore, what does kind to my spine feel like? Can you be gentle as you lift? And that may feel counterintuitive because lifting may feel like it takes a great effort. I'm going to step my left foot back when I'm ready. I'm just alternating the foot, so I don't want you to feel like you need to catch up with me. Maybe you bring your hand to your knee to give yourself that stability. Hear what the body is saying as we basically offer our body. We make our body an offering to the heavens and the earth for giving us life today, for giving us vitality and our health, dedicating each breath, each heartbeat to something greater than ourselves. And certainly the sun is greater than I am. This entire earth with its molten core is greater than I am. And offering it without strain, offering it freely. So can you feel surrender in your own flesh as you're coming up? Now certainly you could look at this sun salutation in a more physical fitness kind of manner. So you could tighten the belly a bit and ask the spine to lengthen, looking at this as a physical body that you want to get as much maximum length and healthy contraction of strength as you can. Or you could take a more kind of spiritual connection to it, or both. It doesn't have to be either or. But if you can, bring into mind how you bring a ritual kind of spirituality or sense of offering and reverence into your practice. As a practice, this is a practice of living, not a physical fitness exercise. You will get the maximum benefit if you can bring that perspective. One more time, if you wish. I've forgotten what leg I'm using now. Noticing how you step. If your heart is starting to beat like quite a bit, slow down. This is an offering. So offer it truly in the way that you can, right? We don't want to be trying to be boisterous or showing off to the heavens. The heavens know how much energy you truly have, right? So trying to front to whatever it is that is higher than us is kind of funny. Oh, all right. Now, I don't know if some of you noticed that I did transition instead of the knee down to coming to a plank here in that extended plank because my body was warmed up. It was a little less stiff, and that was what I needed from me. So we get to move the shoulders, the neck, the legs. By having the belly on the floor, we get to work the organs. And then we'll make our way up to the top of the mat, coming through this version of a warrior, this kind of kneeling warrior, looking up. Maybe your eyes are open. Feel the sun rays shining on you, even if you're in Michigan and the snow is falling and we don't see the sun. Oh, and we'll bring our hands down and step our way up and roll the spine up. Arrive at your mountain and just feel all the energy you just stirred up doing those sun salutations. Maybe try to recall your journey on your mat so far. The meditation, the breath practice, the Bremari, the Bumblebee. Okay, so now I set a sequence. It isn't a sequence necessarily, but poses that we will do each day this week. So I am, however, trying to think of what is a natural sequence for us to go through in it. So it's going to be eagle, triangle, wide-legged forward fold, okay, as far as our standing spaces. Okay, so the eagle, and by all means, if you need more sun salutations, keep doing your thing. All right. And then there's also something to be said for, and now is the time for this, and now is the time for that. It doesn't mean that, like, after you've done this plan, say you choose you want to do this plan, this practice plan for 10, 15, 30 days, that then you don't shift it, but that you're willing to say, I've set this and I'm going to commit myself to this as a practice, as an offering. All right, eagle. So, eagle can first just be done in this manner, okay? And then finding our arms. Then the next stage could be whether you're going to bend the legs into chair. And I like to start knees bent and then have the toes touch as I cross over here, okay? The other option is to be close to a wall, because this is, you're kind of twisted up here, right? And so you might need some support. So let's start with that as a bare basics. If you're having some difficulties or questions on your ego, feel free to type a comment. And I'm happy to offer some suggestions, especially if you're here live. Or send me an email or send me a message on the Facebook Messenger or on our YouTube channel, okay? So I'm going to start with the standing legs straight. And I'm going to cross my right foot over the left. So here we're bringing the legs into this cross version or adduction of the hips. Notice that the hips are going to want to carry to the left here. Now you might need to step the foot forward depending on how thick the thighs are. If you're feeling pretty stable here, and I usually like to set my base in these postures first rather than the arms, because if some of you are familiar with eagle, you may already be going into some spaces up here, but I like to kind of build stuff from the ground up. All right, so got this here, checking, or do I feel like I'm on a tightrope? Maybe go put yourself where your hands can reach the wall and give yourself support. If you're feeling fairly stable, bend the left leg and cross the knee over like a curtsy style crossing of legs. Let the toe touch. Just go ahead and let the toe touch and pull the butt back. So now we've got chair in one leg, this curtsy cross in the other, little kickstand with that toe. Maybe you're feeling some stretch on one of these thighs. Maybe all you're feeling is some wobble or some insecurity. Now, if you feel secure, we'll add the arms. If not, this is good enough. All right, so remember, number one, just legs straight and crossed. Number two, maybe chair and have the cross and have the kickstand. Maybe in a day or two we'll lift that foot. Can we be patient? Now, I've got my right leg on top, so I'm going to bring my right arm under. And it's just to keep us balanced, that's all, as far as even, okay? So it doesn't mean it always has to be that way. You're not breaking any rules if you brought your left arm under. It's just easier for me to remember so that I'm sure that I did both sides, okay? I'm sure that there's probably some energetic left side, right side, Ida Pingala thing that I'm ignoring or I'm not wise enough about. And okay, I'm all right with that. Breathe. So you could have your arms here or you could have your arms here. Let's see about 5 to 7 breaths right here. Feeling your upper body rise, feeling what the bottom body is doing, both legs, both feet, both calves. What are your hips doing? What's going on up and down your spine? How about the flesh in your belly and your abdomen? In between the shoulder blades, back of the neck. Where is the ease? Where is the steadiness? Where is the non-ease? Where is the non-steadiness? What's going on in your mind? I'm hoping I did 7. If you felt like I went a little long, remember it's your breaths, not mine. Coming out, coming to mountain. And then I'm going to set myself up for the other side. I like starting here just to check on how my knees feel, how my hips feel. Now I'm going to bend my right knee for that chair. Crossing this knee over, letting the toe touch. Feeling the hips. Maybe now adding arms. So stay with where you are, but you could always do that here and just keep the arms here. You could bring one arm here and bring it into half so that you still have your support. And then remember, you could have chosen to not be bent in the legs at all. Ease and steadiness in your face. Maybe you're exploring the intensity of a stretch or a burn somewhere. Try to avoid the brain being allowed to run off into thinking. Like, what muscle is that? What's it called? What's it attached to? What does it do? What did I do yesterday that's making it be this way? Be here. You maybe recall some of the elements of the meditation. Breathing in and breathing out, seeing your breath pervade everywhere in the room. Maybe remember why you're here at all. I chose 5 to 7 breaths. You could choose a different number of breaths for yourself. All right, I'm going to come to the center of the mat. I'm going to widen the legs out. Look at the toes. Let's make sure they're even. So on the big toes are on the same line. Now I'm going to spin on this right heel. Let those toes go forward. Try not to lock your knees right now. Remember what I said about building your poses from the ground up. So I'm going to flare my toes, feel the mat with my feet, with the soles of my feet like they're hands. And then feel the legs supporting me, not jamming and locking. When I'm jamming and locking, I'm dumping weight somewhere. I'm not asking the rest of the muscles to actually hold me, okay? I'm using kind of locked bones to do the support, like stick figure, but we're not stick figures. We have fleshy bits to hug around the bones. Let's let them hug. Okay, now I just like to always start my triangle with a little bit of movement just to encourage that fluidity, that liquid space. And then maybe you lengthen the arms out, but I'd like to kind of exaggerate here. Notice how the shoulders have reached up along the ears, asking that to come down, maybe even amplifying that by bending the elbows. Ease. Check those knees, make sure they haven't locked. We want to feel out how much pressure you're putting in your feet. Can you push through both big toes, through both pinky toes, lifting your own arches, not gouging into the heels? Good. Can you lift both kneecaps without jamming the knees back? Now I'm going to send my left hip back. I'll do that again. Left hip and reach the ribs and the waist. I'm going to bring this back here and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do the hip, and this time instead of the ribs and waist, I'm going to yank through the arm. And I want us to see that difference. Can you keep that shoulder in the joint and ask the waist and the ribs to do it? Keep that shoulder in check. It thinks it's bossed. And then let that hand fall where it may. For me in my beginning here, I'm going to let this hand just come beneath the right knee and let this left hand come here. And see how much the chest cavity wants to twist sideways, like a piece of bread in the toaster. And see if we can ask the neck to lengthen this way. Now, bring your awareness back down from the ground up. All of the toes, what are they doing? Are you pressing through the big toe knuckle, pinky toe knuckles, through lifting through the arches? Now, how about lifting both kneecaps without locking the knees? Where's the breath revolving from your waist? Can you still feel the lengthening through the side of the body, or are we kind of dumping here? Breath, 5 to 7 breaths. Now notice what's changing, right? There might be muscles, areas where the body is shifting and changing in the pose. I know my torso is twisting a little bit more and sinking a little bit more. And I felt like by lifting this arm, I created more space instead of collapse in my chest. Still don't lead through the shoulders. And you could always just keep that hand right here. Which leg are you pressing in more? Where is your awareness shifting to and changing in your body right now? Now, use a constant, easy pressure to bring yourself up. Try not to yank yourself up. Feel what's changed. I'm going to spin on the right heel. Feel what's changing in that heel, that Achilles tendon. I definitely am feeling that here, so I'm rocking a little bit in that foot. And then the left side. So I've spun on the left foot. Do what you need. I've already told you all I especially in my morning practices, really need to ask my hips what they want to do. And then my chest is up, my ease in my countenance. And build from the ground up. Feel your toes, feel your arches. Lifting the kneecaps without jamming the knees back. Hip first, side body. Take your breath with you. And then rotate the rib cage. Now, you often see people turning that head up, but if that's creating any strain in your neck, go ahead and take the gaze down. Draw the shoulders down your back. Maybe thrust the chest up and forward a bit. And then build it again from the ground up, through your feet, through the knees, through the hips. Side body coming through the toaster. Turn your waist, turn your rib cage. Even push that right hip forward a bit as a part of the toast. I didn't count, so I'm going to do 3 more breaths here. What's changing? What's growing? What's fatiguing? Are there areas of the body that are starting to activate that you are like, oh, hey, what is that? I never even knew that muscle. What is that? All right, don't yank yourself. Bringing ourselves up. Feeling that engagement. I'm going to spin onto the left heel. Bringing those feet back to that even parallel space. Still don't lock the knees back so that we're not putting undue pressure on any joint. Ease and steadiness. Sthira Sukha. All right. I'm going to spread my toes so that I'm not bunching up on my base. We're going to do the wide-legged forward fold. It's a nice little release. Now, both of these spaces, triangle and Prasarita Padottanasana, are open hip spaces. We started with eagle, which is not an open hip space, right? It's a crisscross space. So we already have a pose, counter pose built into what we're doing, okay? So I'm going to bring my hands behind me and find an interlace. You could hold a strap back there or a belt, but my hands can come together fairly easily, ease and steadiness. Asking my collarbones to open, working this area of the body, and that's going to be helpful because we're going to do a supported fish later. So we want to start to ease into seeing the range of movement in the thoracic chest. This area of the body is the thoracic spine and chest. So opening this area, asking the pectoralis muscles, okay? So the big chest muscles underneath of mammary glands is right in here. So we want to spread that out. Sending the wrists down. I like to tuck the chin down so that I can feel the back of the neck lengthening. Build it again from the ground up. So I'm checking my feet. My toes were starting to bunch. The feet were actually also getting a little fatigued from the pressure that I was putting. I was being a little aggressive. All right, I'm going to bend my knees, hips forward, and then feeling this stretching lift through the flesh in the belly and the hips and the thighs. And then remember the chest. Drawing the shoulder blades together, taking the gaze up, bending the knees, hips forward, pull the chest up and open. Don't drop the neck. Breathe. Let the tummy breathe. Let it breathe. Notice how much you're trying to hold it back from really expanding. And we'll bring it forward. I'm going to hold on to my arms as long as I can, but I am going to soften my knees so that my knees aren't locked. Building it from the ground up again, spreading the toes, pressing through the ball joint, pinky toe joint. Oh, lifting the arches, baby toe edges of the feet engaged, pushing the heels down. Knees soft, low back soft. Good, upper chest soft. Try to let your breath fit in the space between your shoulder blades. Let your neck lengthen, bearing the weight of your head. Perhaps let your jowls go. Release the arms when you're ready. So this wide-legged forward fold, letting the legs support us, and we're practicing letting the upper body hang. Perhaps use parts of that meditation now, seeing the exhale, sending the breath pervading through the room, around the room, outside of the room, across the globe. I'm going to start to bend the knees, curl the tailbone under, and allow the upper body to gradually lift, slowly lifting the head last. I'm going to heel toe the feet in. I'm going to do that again. So, an eagle on both sides. So choose, all right? Maybe you only did this version last time and you're wanting to kind of step it up. Or you're going to do the same one that you did. I'm going to do the same one. So I'm going to bend my left knee. I'm going to step the right knee across and bring that toe down. Chest is up. I'm going to turn sideways here so that we can see a little bit, maybe a little bit better, that I'm not letting my chest really bend forward, okay? Up. Now, that doesn't mean that I have to sink deep into these legs. So if those legs are burning, you can always stand up taller. Ease and steadiness. Don't should all over your practice, and start to notice when you are. Now, if you've got the right knee on top, and remember I said you're not breaking any yoga rules, but if you want, right is under, left is over. Perhaps it's a bear hug. Maybe you're creeping the fingertips further toward the midline, pulling those shoulder blades apart. What's opening in this pose? Scan your whole body. What's opening and surrendering, or what's tensing? What's tensing in your feet, your ankles, your calves? Or what's loosening and softening? Knees and thighs and hips. Your home practice also doesn't have to adhere to being an hour. Maybe you only have 20 minutes or a half hour. Be kind. Come out. And I'm going to prepare for the other side. I'm going to bend. Now remember, you could have positioned yourselves, finding that wall, giving yourself support. And other arm, so switching. I'm going to stay with the bear because that really felt good in between my shoulder blades. Creeping the fingertips a little further and then helping, using the hands to help pull the shoulder blades apart. And noticing that nice expansion of breath in that space. Okay, coming out wide again just to establish where the feet are. I'm not going super wide this time. My feet are, I'm like super gripping, so I'm going to give them a break and not go super wide to lessen some of that pressure. But I am going to turn sideways here a bit so that hopefully you can see. You've got those legs wide. See if you can notice whether you're doing that, whether you're breaking the plane of the middle of you by pooching back. This happens a little less so, but it does. But so where are you? Sometimes we can even do a few pelvic tilts to feel that out. Where are you? All right, so now I'm going to come back sideways here. I'm going to change the interlace. So I spoke about our legs finding counter space. Same with the arms. Here is a crossing, either here or here. And now bringing the arms behind, deliberately countering, finding that equal and opposite range of movement and seeing what's going on. Don't force, don't yank, don't tug, don't be aggressive. Now check with those hips again, because sometimes once we bring this clasp, the hips start to poke in all kinds of ways. It also helps us start to build our awareness of our midline. I'm going to bend the knees a bit, hips forward a bit, chest up. Can you feel the chest opening, not forcing? And with each breath, expand with breath through your physical body. And slowly lengthening ourselves up, coming up and over. Now if you keep the knees straight instead of keeping them soft, just make sure you're not locking. And then let's build from the ground up here by shifting forward a bit, so that you're not hovering back in those heels. Hoping to show it this way. So here I'm way back in those heels, and here I'm bringing the body weight forward more, letting the head freely hang as freely as you can. Don't compare, don't contrast against anyone else's. What are you experiencing in your mid-back? Your shoulder flesh, shoulder blades, tops of the upper arms, where the shoulders and the neck meet, where the neck and the jaw meet. And then scan it from the ground up again. What ease are you feeling in your feet? Do you need to wiggle the toes and flare and make space? I'm going to release the arms. Lightly bend the knees and slowly curl the tailbone under and go as slowly as you can, experiencing your spine. What's still holding, fighting, resisting, tensing? What's already kind of nice and noodly and soft? All right, I'm going to start my triangle with the left foot on this side. I don't know why I just went into a Jeopardy theme song. I'm realizing that when I moved, forget it, let's go to the right. But I do want to stay turned this way so you guys can see a little bit of that side profile. Okay, because this is me with the butt back and the triangle, and when I'm facing you forward, you just really can't see what happens. We want to do that same thing. So I've spun onto the right heel, big toe, pinky toe, arch lift, squeeze the thighs, don't jam the knees back. Ease, float, float. Check your fingers, your wrists. Are you still holding them? Are you still controlling them? And it's all right. It's a practice, not a perfect, and that means we got to practice it and practice it and practice it and practice it. I'm really trying to eliminate these words out of my own language. I'm not good at. Eject button on those words. I'm still practicing. I'm still learning. Not I'm not good at. All right, left hip back, right side, reach, reach. Now, because of my movement so far today, I'm finding a lot more length in the spine and the waist. That's allowing my arm to come down, okay? I haven't reached down with the arm. I've just let the arms expand. Now, here's the butt sinking back, and then here's me turning the body sideways. I'm going to rest this hip now, this hand now. So maybe push the left hip forward a little. You could always use a mirror and look at yourself lengthwise, you know, as though you were looking at yourself in your own bowling alley. So that you can notice, are you threading your own needle with your body? All right, we're going to ask the way, slow it down. Notice what had to help you in the feet, in the calves, in the thighs. And are we willing to learn how to move in this frame in new ways? Asking different areas of us to give us that support. Spinning on the heel, and then spinning on the heel, finding the other side. Maybe starting to notice, hey, wait a minute. Can I accept support in a different way? Different areas of me giving me support. Noticing different lessons in life that come from movement on the mat. Right hip back, side. Oh, let me do my ground up. I'm going to work the feet now. My knees, not locking, lifting the kneecaps. Noticing how that helps the quads, the thigh muscles, start to squeeze and engage around that bone. Hips, not going backward. Hips, yeah, sideways. And already you might be like, oh, like you're pressed up in an elevator. Something that we haven't done in COVID times forever, right? Sardining into an elevator where you got like everybody up against you, or in a subway. And, woo! Now that right hip and side are definitely talking, and I'm up a little bit higher than I was on this other side. And that's all right. I'm just meeting this side. Getting to practice all of that kindness, that awareness. Second time here. Check it from the ground up again. Maybe do that meditation in your mind. When my distracting thoughts arise, just follow the breath. And bringing ourselves up. Good. Okay, we're going to get ready to come down. Not saying that you only need to do those twice. For the sake of our time zone, I'm already looking at time. We haven't even gotten to the reclinings yet, so we're probably going to go over maybe a good 15 minutes. I'm going to try to get us through in about 15 minutes here for the rest of today. But at your home practice, like for me, if I wasn't on camera with you guys right now, I'm getting into the juicy bit. So I could like hang out here for a couple more times, or just really hold that triangle and feel it changing and transforming over the time, okay? But I want to respect your time as well. All right, let's come on down. And as we're coming down, if there's something that has come up for you at any point in time, you can, but now might be a good chance, a good opportunity to write something down in your journal about what you've noticed, something that you want to remember. Maybe there was a flag that came up when we were in the eagle, or when we were doing the sun salutes, or the meditation, of something that you want to incorporate. Or, who knows, maybe there was just some epiphany of wisdom that came up for you. All right, we're going to do the reclining half hero. I'm going to use this pillow. You could use your blanket, okay? So if you don't have a big pillow like I do here, you could use this, but you might want a couple, all right? Going to come to sitting, and I'm going to bring this pillow up against my low back. Now I'm going to shift over to my right foot and I'm going to bring this knee down behind me. You might want a couple of pillows because sometimes we need a blanket or something under that foot. Your foot could be turned sideways or it could be tucked under. Now I've got this up against my back and I'm just going to let myself come slowly down. Now I'm going to pause right here. I'm like halfway on the pillow. No strain in the neck, so my gaze is forward. Now the top of the thigh and the back started to say, oh, okay, we could start to come down another level. Another level. And I'm actually going to take this blanket now and bring it under my head. You could have as many supports as you need under you. You could be the princess and the pea. Who remembers that? The princess and the pea. Ease and steadiness. What is going on and what level of intensity? What's opening and surrendering and what's fighting and tensing? Are there aspects of that meditation that you could use? Let's see about 5 to 7 more breaths. And if it only lasts 2, come up easily. Try not to yank your way out. Unclench the buttocks. Maybe tense the hands and relax. Sometimes telling things to untense and let go don't work. Sometimes we need to super tense something in order to trigger our awareness of letting go. To give ourselves permission to let go. Notice your breath and let it pervade deep into your belly and deep out across the room, out the building. Neck and shoulders sink heavy. Now very slowly and gently, patiently lift yourselves up incrementally. And then I'm just going to shift to the right. Ease that left leg out. Feel free to shake that out if need be. And other side. Alright, so now Reclining Hero is not for everyone. So if that is you, so knee issues, hip issues, you can just forward fold over both legs, maybe put a pillow across your legs. We'll be just working a different area. But this is definitely an area that's contraindicated. And maybe you're like, I can't go down that far. Go ahead and get some more pillows. Don't be ashamed. There's no shame in it. Stack up more. You might be sitting up here like this. Joe. Joe. Inner thighs together. If you think I'm talking to you, I may be. And coming down for the other side. Can you let the shoulders go? Can you let your neck go? Maybe let your attention focus on things that feel really good here. Find it. Even if it's just one thing, and just embrace that. embrace it. Let the breath in and let it permeate through your low abdomen and pelvis. Let the breath out and let it dissipate throughout the whole room and out the building. Let's slowly bring ourselves up, shifting to one side, bringing that leg out from under us, maybe shaking it out. I'm going to remove the pillow out of my way and try to make sure that your block or your rolled up blanket is nearby for us to lay ourselves down. Let's invite the left knee into the chest. Don't yank it in. Just hug it in the most relaxed manner. And just say, okay, that's as much as that thigh wants to bend on its own without any external force. This is my back resting on the earth without any undue pressure. And we'll roll over to the right side, drawing that left knee across us into a twist. Don't use the arm to yank the leg. Let the leg fall where it may. Notice where there's tension or limitation in the twist, or allowing for or not allowing for the breath. And how do we let that breath permeate? Expand. Very slowly, just peel your way back onto the back. Just let yourself just melt into place there. Slowly dragging, sliding the right knee in, lengthening the left leg out. Feel your back. Respect the limitation of the bend of the knee. Notice when you're trying to force. We're here with ease, steadiness, being in an earth body suit, doing earth body things. And let's make our way over to the other side. Patient. What can you notice and trace in your bony skeletal framework? What can you trace in your musculature? Let's gradually come on back. Good. Let's draw both knees in. Take your time. And we'll rock our way upright. And we'll get our block. I'm going to use a rolled up blanket instead, because I'm always using the block, and I know that there are a lot of people who don't have a block. So I rolled it into just this little kind of oblong kind of shape. And I'm going to bring it into my upper back. I'm going to let my head fall free. So hopefully it won't be up against your low back. So you need to make it small enough that it's just in your upper back. So that it gives a lift in the upper chest, but your hips are rested. Your low back isn't being protruded upward. So your chest feels like you're in a bit of a back bend here. Head is supported on the floor. You could be using a block, but don't have it at its highest height. And see if you can let the arms fall away. And invite some quietude and notice. Notice your body trying to contain your body. Can you ask your nervous system to trust that your body can contain itself? It doesn't need to do anything. With every breath, earn that trust. In the neck, belly, groin, inner thighs, backs of the knees, anything that feels stuck. Very lazily roll over to one side. And let's just curl up into a fetal position here. Letting the body come out of that shape. Slowly, lovingly. Let the weight of your bones sag off of the flesh, not the flesh off of the bone. And we'll press our way up. Okay, the last space. Try and adhere to my little promise here. It's going to be a supported shoulder stand. So feel free to swing your legs up an open wall, all right? If you don't have an open wall, maybe you have a chair that doesn't have wheels on it. And swing your legs up onto that chair, all right? So if you have your legs up the wall, just let your legs relax. You've got your legs on a chair. Try to let go. Lift the chin slightly away from the chest so that the back of the neck is curved up and off of the mat. Eyes open. Now at the chair, I'm just going to walk my feet to the edge of the chair. If you're at the wall, bend the knees enough so that the feet are flat at the wall, maybe about 6 or 7 inches apart from one another. And everyone, from wherever you are, press into the feet and allow your hips to rise. And try to loosen as many muscles in your upper body the back of your body, even your buttocks. Now, some of you like to bring your hands under you to provide support for the low back. Try not to shove up so much, just give support so that the hips can sink. Let the tummy expand with breath. Feel it wanting to come down to the earth. Feel the areas of the belly that are usually at the top that are now sagging down toward you. And this is a nice reminder about having as little contents in our tummies for our practice. Let's see about 5 more breaths if you can. If not, just release down slowly. When you're done with your breaths, very gently, spinal vertebrae by vertebrae, lower down, feel them coming down into the earth. And we'll bring the knees toward the belly. Maybe a gentle cradling rock, maybe not. Try to be as loose as you can. And we'll gradually roll over. Have time in your fetal position. Making space and time for settling. This is not wasted time. This is not time that we're doing nothing. This is honoring both sides of energy, the yin and the yang. And then we'll allow ourselves to bring our way back up. Finding a way of sitting that's comfortable for you. And we'll do the Bremari breath practice one more time. Closing the triangular cartilage flap with the thumbs. Lightly covering the eyes with the fingers. You could have your eyes open and just seeing lightly through the slats in your fingers if having your eyes closed forcefully is triggering. Relax the belly. 3 Brahmari hums. Allow your gaze to fixate on whatever is the area that you wish, a candle, an object. Find a way of sitting with as much ease as you can, maybe with your back against a wall. Let your mind follow the breath in and the breath out, letting it permeate through the whole room, out of the room, across the earth. When your mind is agitated, distracted, just come back to noticing all of the qualities of your breath. Where is it now? What is it doing? Do not follow the past. the past is finished. So don't think about it. Do not anticipate the future. Don't think, I will do this or I will do that. Rest without distraction in the present moment of awareness. Hands to the heart center. Namaste. So, I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this has been our home yoga practice live. This week, we're starting a practice to do the same thing throughout the week and notice what changes. Notice what comes up for us. Notice when we want to change something. Notice when, something that felt simple at first starts to feel a little difficult. I'm really honored to be able to share my practice of yoga with you, finding new levels of vulnerability and honesty within myself, trying to say the things that I don't know, say the things that I can't do, and show how I navigate around those obstacles, hopefully with humility. And I hope that you all, if you're finding any benefit of this practice, please share the benefits of this practice with others. Feel free to offer a donation at paypal.me/justbeyoga. Check out our website, justbeyoga.com, maybe for a private session. Maybe you want me to come in for a workshop or a speaking engagement. Go forth and do great things. Namaste. Thank you, Claudia. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Kim. I'm really glad that you were able to pop in. I think that you saw our email, and I will see you. I will see you tomorrow. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. If you have questions, and again, if you have suggestions of what you would like to do next week, in any coming weeks, anything that you have a question about on your home yoga practice, are you running up into barriers? Are you just not able to do it? This is an opportunity for us to interact and share with one another. So I really look forward to the opportunity to be able to have some more give and take rather than me just giving. I'd love to see what you guys got. All right. Peace. Be well.